Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast, presented to you by Music Never Stopped. Today is Monday, March 24th, and today's guest, we have Sugarlegg.
What are you doing, podcast for lot?
Yeah.
Come be on a lot podcast.
Yeah, hell yeah, All Jammed Up.
This dude's doing a podcast. If you want to be on some podcast, come give an interview.
Hell yeah. Good morning, fools. Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast. I'm your host, Clint Dotson, and today we have a banger of an episode for you. We have Nathan Aronowitz, or as you might know him, Sugarlegg, keyboard and guitar for Daniel Donato, does his own thing with Freedom Junction as well. It's a super awesome interview. You guys are really going to enjoy it. And before we get into it, quick shouts out to Sugarlegg. When I started the podcast, before I even released an episode or anything, Sugarlegg was stoked to come on. I've been in contact with him through Instagram for a little while now, so I was happy we were able to find a time and get it done. So really awesome interview. You guys are going to like this one a lot, so let's go ahead straight into it.
Hey, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Welcome, everybody. We are here with Nathan. How do you say your last name?
Aronowitz.
Nathan Aronowitz, the keyboard player for Cosmic Country, and you're in your own group, Freedom Junction as well, right?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. But you go by Sugarlegg.
Yeah, I do go by Sugarlegg.
Do a lot of people call you that? Like,
Yeah, Sugarlegg. That's my full name, Sugarlegg.
okay, where'd that come from?
I was on the road and I tore a meniscus in reality, but I was just like walking around with cowboy boots on and loading in and loading out and standing while I was playing. And it just it screwed me up for like 6 months, but everyone started calling me that because I eat a lot of donuts. and
You don't look like a guy.
I know. Well, they were just like, yeah, it's your sugar leg, it's your diabetes leg, and so and then it just stuck. I don't know why. And then so now I'm Sugarlegg.
That's
for life.
That's the best of, man. Like, I always wanted a cool nickname, and you can't give yourself a nickname. Like, people have to give
can't.
you. Yeah.
You know what? I've always wanted a cool nickname too, and well, I mean,
It worked out for you.
I guess so. Is it cool? I don't know if it's that cool.
I think it's cool. So was like the Sugar Shack, all that, was that after Sugarlegg?
Yeah. I mean, I was just at home and I was just making a little stupid track, and then I was like, well, this needs vocals, and then that just came out. I was
Okay.
like, whoops, I made it like a theme song on accident.
Happy accident, right? Is that what Bob Ross calls them?
It's a happy accident, the Sugar Shack.
So-
But I do live at the Sugar Shack, and I'm about to go back to the Sugar Shack.
Okay, where's that
in
at?
2 days, in Nashville, or
Okay.
Old Hickory,
Gotcha.
which is like right outside of Nashville.
So where are you from? Where'd you grow up at?
I was born in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and
Okay.
then grew up in Fayetteville, Arkansas,
Gotcha. Okay.
which is a cool little place, vibey,
Yeah.
bluesy, funky town.
Is that where you kind of got a lot of your musical inspiration?
Oh
Is
yeah,
Just
yeah.
local dive bars and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, my grandma was like a gospel blues pianist, and I was just kind of raised with that, and the blues and jamming, and then when we moved to Arkansas, there just happened to be a blues scene, and I love blues.
Yeah.
For since I was a kid, for some reason or another. Like What Did I Say by Ray Charles. That was at 5 years old. That was my favorite song, and that's just kind of an old school soul blues song.
So a lot of these interviews I do, people are like the Grateful Dead, the Allman Brothers, like Fish. That was kind of you're more on the Stevie Ray Vaughan, Ray Charles side of things.
Oh yeah, Ray Charles, and I love Hendrix so much. I know that's so cliche, but I just love.
There's a reason it is.
I love Hendrix, and no one else. No one else even for me even comes close. Technically, maybe other people have achieved other things, but Hendrix's sound and the vibe and the era, it was awesome.
And in such a short time too.
Such a short time. And and towards the end of his life, he was getting real funky with it too. So I love Hendrix. I love Ray Charles. I love old blues. Lightning Hopkins. I love
Lightning Hopkins. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's cool.
One of my favorite songs of all time is "The Mess Around" by Ray
Dude,
Charles.
I know. It's
Yeah.
so great. Yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to play that as a child.
Is that one you can play pretty confidently now?
I mean, dude, the thing is, things just go away. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, like, I can still do that, and you know, I bet if I spent some time, I could get it under my fingers again. But currently, no.
No.
I love it though.
So you're kind of like well versed in a few different instruments. What was the first one that you started playing?
Yeah, a piano. You know,
Okay.
And blues on the piano, jamming. I was just like a weird, like 4th grader, 5th grader, like playing blues on the piano, and I would just do that. I would
Yeah.
love to do that, and improvising. I don't know how that happened, but I just loved doing that. It was just like an automatic, like release, you know,
Mhm.
just playing and jamming. And then I remember, I really wanted an electric guitar, but my parents were like, you know, they had the sense to be like, you got to take piano lessons first.
First, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, and that was actually a really good thing that they did. You know,
Mhm.
I'm super glad, because piano's it's kind of like the root of a lot of music. You know.
So did you go from keys to piano or keys to guitar?
Yep, keys to guitar, and I got one in like when I was 10 or something.
Were you taking lessons in the school band or something? Like, how'd you kind of get to where you're at?
Yeah, well, you know, it was jealousy is what got me into lessons. So one of my friends was like playing like Camptown races,
Mhm.
like way better at piano than me, and I was like, all right.
I want to be better than him.
Yeah, dude.
So were you in any bands in like middle school, high school, anything
Dude,
like that?
Yes, I was obsessed with like making people a band that weren't a band, and like I would like convince people to get their parents to buy them instruments on like our block, and I was just obsessed with having a group of people playing music, you know, and
Yeah.
jamming, and like, you know, I had a million bands and a million you know, mock-up art, you know, that I
Mhm.
would draw, and you know, I remember we were the Static Legends, dude, you know.
Static Legends.
Yeah, and the band that made it to the top, we played Chick-fil-A one time.
Oh.
Was
Chick-fil-A in Fayetteville.
we were called Perpetual Overtone, dude.
Perpetual. Dang, these are some deep names.
Dude, I know.
Very insightful.
Yeah, dude. And this was probably even before Perpetual Groove, the
Yeah.
band. So.
How old are you now? How old are you now?
I'm about to be 30, dude.
30. Me too, dude. I
Hell
feel
yeah. Have you seen that meme of SpongeBob and Patrick like running from the lasso, and it's like 95 kids, 94 kids, 30. Like,
No, I haven't seen that one.
The lasso's coming for us, man. We're 30.
I told someone the other day was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 30," and she was like, "You're 28. Like you still got like a year
Oh,
and
wait,
some
you're
change."
28?
I turned 29 in like 15 days though.
Okay, well
Yeah.
then, the lasso's not coming for you
Okay.
yet, because I'm 29 and my birthday's in June. I feel like coming up.
June
dude.
what?
June 23rd.
Oh, cool. She's June 24th.
Oh really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude, we're cancers, huh?
And then my cousin's the 25th, so that's like a little trifecta right there.
Oh my god. But you're not 30 yet, though.
No.
Yeah, see,
She's still a young buck. She's still got her glory days ahead of her.
I'm scared, man. My body's breaking down, you know, already.
What are you scared of?
I'm not scared.
So I guess before we get into Cosmic Country or Freedom Junction, I want to just talk a little bit about some of your solo stuff that you do.
Oh yeah.
So the what is it called?
Sugar's Blues?
Sugar's Blues,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Are you playing everything on that?
Yeah, dude. Yes, that was yeah, that was a project that came about because I got like my ears cleaned, but no, on the on the road, I was like, dude, I can't hear anything out of my left ear like anymore, and I was like, you know, it's probably because of wax or something.
Yeah.
So I went to go get it cleaned on like a day off, like like right before we went to fly to like play Peach Fest or whatever, and have like a crazy travel run, you know,
Mhm.
like flying to Peach Fest and then after that like flying the next day to California, like crazy shit. Anyway, I get my ears cleaned and they like pop my eardrum, like totally. Like they just do it too aggressively. And, you know, and then immediately have to fly and like do
Dude.
the craziest of travels, the craziest of elevations. So painful, so crazy. And then, like 6 months later, down the line, they're like, yeah, the hole's not healing. You gotta get a surgery. So then I went into surgery, and I had like a month off of the road.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, well, I'm gonna record an acoustic album, because that's all I can
Yeah.
listen to. Like, that's like and it was just in my house, as I was recovering. And a lot of a lot of the takes are just like one take, because that's like kind of like all I could handle, But
So you did all that after the surgery?
yeah, and I shouldn't have done it, probably. But I was at home, and I cannot not play music.
Yeah.
I literally can't. So I just did that, and as a way of like capturing, I don't know what was going on, and I don't know. It ended up being cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I listened to it pretty recently, and I thought it was a really good album.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I was
Appreciate
listening to it, and I was like, I feel like he's playing all these instruments.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, the harmonica. I bought like a 12-string Gretsch White Falcon guitar and tuned it like down to the Hendrix tuning.
Mm-hmm.
It's like super low, like, and then that and an acoustic and just singing.
What instrument can you not play?
A lot of them. I can't even fucking play the piano, dude. Like, in my estimation, when I listen back to the shows, I'm like, God damn it.
If you could only play one instrument, what would it be?
Oh, come on, man. I don't know. Oh, I really love guitar and piano so much.
Yeah.
They're so different, and they're laid out so different. But, I guess if I could play one, it would probably be the piano, because it's like, it has everything in it. You can do bass lines, you can do melody and rhythm, and I mean, yeah, so I guess it would have to be piano.
When you're playing keys and like for Sugarlegg Rag, for example, that song, you guys are just kind of going crazy. Like, you're really getting after it.
Yeah.
Do you just kind of like black out when you're like, dude, no, just like going crazy like that?
Dude,
like, what's going through your mind during that?
Sometimes you black out.
Yeah.
But dude, like, it's so weird. It's like kind of flying like an airplane or something, I think. Like, or not. I don't know. I've never flown an airplane, so I guess that's not really. But I'd imagine, like, if you started flying towards a mountain, you'd be like, oh, fuck, I got to course correct. So, like, sometimes you black out, and then sometimes you're like, oh, man, I hate what I just played. I need to, like, focus more, and it's always, like, a balance, if you kind of mess up or in your eyes mess up. There's really no messing up, I guess, but it's a mixture of blacking out and waking up.
Okay, there we go. That's life.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
life. Do you find yourself when you get in those like crazy jams? Do you ever find yourself just like missing a key and then like struggling to get back on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude.
But you're good enough where you can kind of recover it and make it like not known to the trained ear.
Right.
Okay.
Well, what's interesting is what I've been realizing, like listening to other bands and just going seeing all this live music and stuff, is that Cosmic Country is primarily fast as shit. Like,
yeah.
And so it's like.
When we listened to Sugarlegg Rag on the way here, I was like, I feel like this song, they're like, how many beats per minute can we do?
I know. Well, it gets even faster live too, and I don't know. It's wild. So it's like kind of pushing us to our limit every night, and which is great. But in like slower kind of funkier type songs, it's a lot less. It's a lot easier to not like make those types of mistakes, or stuff. When you're going that fast, you're like. It's training this crazy muscle, and Daniel's been ripping it like that since he was like 14. It's funny. Like, his native language is face melt, which is awesome, and it's been teaching me how to face melt.
When you guys get like, in that Sugarlegg Rag, still stuck on the Sugarlegg Rag song.
Yeah, it's like,
you guys kind of like are going off of each other. It seems like. What's the chemistry like between you guys?
Dude, it's actually crazy, man. Like, it's just we're just kind of creating a language together, and we have our things that we say, and I think our relationship is really crazy in a way too, because we, me and Daniel and Noah, the old drummer, we when we were 18, we like were in a studio session together and just put together by a dude. And he's like, make music, I'll just, you guys can make a song. And, we did a song, and there's some recording of some like blues song that we like made together, many years ago, and then didn't see each other for like 8 years. And then, turns out, we'd been like living next to each other, like for like 4 years or whatever, like within walking distance.
Yeah.
Like our band house and then his house that he lived in.
How did you guys' paths never cross?
I know. It's really weird. But yeah, whenever we finally met, it was at like a jam. Like me and Noah were playing with this dude Luke McQuarrie, who's also like a guitar player down, playing at Roberts, like right now, which was Daniel's gig, And we were playing for Luke, and we opened for Marcus King, like at the American Legion, and he like did a random pop up like Marcus King at the Legion, and it sold out in like freaking 5 minutes.
Was he big that long ago?
He was. It
probably in Nashville specifically too.
Yeah. I mean, this must have been like. Yeah, this was like 2021.
Okay.
Something like that.
That makes sense.
2021. Yeah. So. It was awesome, and then Daniel's at that show, and his drummer was quitting, and they wanted to add someone else to the band. So, boom, 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 we joined the band.
So were you two the last, like, kind of the finishing pieces of the band?
Well, Noah's not in the band anymore.
Okay.
But Bronco Clark is in the band now, and I guess I was kind of the last change up.
Okay.
But apparently we're going to be looking for some pedal steel, We might be expanding the palette.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you guys are like on just a tear right now.
It's crazy.
Selling out shows and not selling out shows like day of, like selling out shows like a few weeks before the show is pretty insane.
Yeah, dude, it's been wild.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Do you guys feel like playing Winter Wondergrass, you guys are doing Dark Star.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys also have Bonnaroo this year.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So,
Bonnaroo's going to be fun.
Some big festivals coming up for you guys. Selling out these shows. You guys kind of feel like you're on the up and up, starting to peak?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't, it's just funny when you're in the middle of doing it all, In the end, I'm still just an insecure guy who thinks that it'll never really, happen or whatever, But when you get out on stage and you see the crowds, you're like, all right, this is happening. But,
So can we talk about that? Like being insecure and not thinking it's going to happen. Like,
oh, yeah, dude.
For it to happen to you, what does that look like?
I mean, it's happening, man,
Yeah.
but it's just a constant, it's, there's always more, and there's always, like, you have the carrot, that you're dangling in front. And, yeah, dude, it's just wild being a musician, because there's no set, like, clock in, clock out. There's no set path. And so there's a lot of uncertainty, and you have to be kind of comfortable with the uncertainty. But boy, it can really freak you out, if you think about it.
Yeah, because one day people just be like, they're making the same sounds every time. I don't want to go see them anymore.
I know.
So I can see it. I never really thought about that.
Well, it's all up to if someone likes you or not. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that just feels like. Back in high school, or do they like you? Will they come? I don't know. Do I even like myself? It's
all things we struggle with. So going back to making a sound that people like, your own music, you have a very unique sound when it comes to your singing. And when I first heard your singing, I was like, he must have a pretty high voice. Now that we're speaking, you don't have a high voice.
Yeah.
So how did you experiment with that sound, or when you sing, it was kind of always like that?
Dude, well, I've been honestly trying to pinpoint why I do this, and actually I've been trying to sing lower because I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not supposed to sing like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe it's working against me, and I don't sound good up there. And sometimes I like singing up high.
Yeah.
But I think what happened is. When I was 18, I got a job being a music minister at an African American church, and they needed a musician. They didn't have, it was just like a choir singing, but and I walked in because a friend recommended me, and I started playing with the choir, and
You're the only white dude?
Yes, and the
Is this in Fayetteville?
no, this is in Nashville.
Okay.
Like when I moved there, when I turned 18, I moved to Nashville to chase the dream.
And
dude.
look at you now.
And look at me now. Woo! But the pastor was in another room, and he's like, "That sounds great. Let's hire him." And then he came in and saw us an 18-year-old like white dude that looked like this. But it was like the greatest job I've ever had. I did it for 4 years. I served as the music minister. But
Nice.
and I picked up, and it was old school, very old school.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what happened is it was an all female choir,
Okay.
and I would sing with them, and their voices were really high up.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I sing that high.
What is a music minister? What were you doing?
I was picking out all the songs and
Okay.
then, making sure they would go with the pastor's sermon and do the choir rehearsals on Thursdays and then do a service on Sunday, go to all the meetings,
How did you
I
get
would-
that job as an 18-year-old
I know,
white dude?
I know, dude. I don't know. God, I guess.
Are you a pretty religious person?
I mean, I'm a spiritual
Okay.
person. And I mean, honestly, dude, like those old school gospel hymns, they
Yeah.
got some truth in them,
Yeah.
I remember tripping acid for the first time.
Ties right into our church
yeah,
ministry.
I tripped acid for the first time, and my mind was blown.
Uh-huh.
I saw God. I saw the reality that is,
Mhm.
And then the next day, I did my, music minister service, and I was like, all that is this, and it was the old school and the new school, and so I guess that's how I feel about spirituality and God.
I like that answer of. I like that answer. Yeah, I think that's a good one.
It was cool, but I mean, people also kind of get a little, they get a little caught up in the old school.
Yeah.
There's some, yeah, I heard some crazy stuff,
Yeah, I'm
in the church.
sure down there too. There's some off the wall opinions
Yeah.
in the church there.
But I see the good in both. It's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
So I was So let's talk about Freedom Junction.
Oh yeah.
I tried to find like an album on Spotify. I couldn't really find anything.
Oh yeah, no, we're still working on it. Or
Okay.
I'm about to throw one out, and it's just what I'm calling, my group of dudes
Mhm.
that when we get together and jam. And it's me and Noah and this dude Chris Kirk on bass, and we used to have a band called Down Boy, and that was kind of before Cosmic, and we did that for a long time
Yeah.
in Nashville. And it was kind of hard. It was like two really common words, and whenever you'd look up Down Boy, it was like a bunch of random other
Yeah.
stuff and songs, like a song by Mo, and then if you typed in Down Boy Band, it would give you all these like pictures of boy bands, and so I was like, all right,
Time for a name change.
Time for a name change, and then I was like, I always wanted to name it Freedom Junction because I was like, that's what it is. It's like jam. It's like the intersection of jam
Mhm.
and life.
Are you guys more like a psychedelic groove or like the country rock groove that?
Yeah, it's more like kind of funky psychedelic,
Okay.
That stuff.
And are you singing and guitar in that
Yep,
one? or-
singing guitar and then hopping over to the keyboards,
Yeah.
just doing all the stuff, and yeah, we have an album that whenever I get the time to figure out how to just put it out,
So
it's done right now though, which is awesome.
I'm still thinking about
Sugarlegg Rag.
No.
No.
That was good. No, Sugar Blues and the fact that you did all those instruments and edited, like, how much goes into that?
Oh, dude,
Are you
it
just
is-
so good at it now? Where
No, it is, dude. Mixing your own record is just like, it is such a freaking head trip. It is, you really get the, that close up mirror of
Yeah.
you, and then you just, when you're every single little edit, you just like you're like, whoa, was that the right, amount of volume up? Like that tiny tweak that I
Mhm.
did, you could do a million tweaks, and I always saw it as a learning opportunity, just like, oh, I'm learning to do this, learning to do that, carve EQ, do master bus, do this, do that. Yeah, doing it all yourself it's a lot, And but this time around, like with our Freedom Junction record, I did it with my landlord actually. But
Okay.
but my landlord is a very accomplished, songwriter, guitar player, recorder,
Gotcha.
which I didn't know. He came over and helped me fix our door, and we started talking, and he was like, wait, man, you want to come over check out my studio?
I was like,
And I was like, yeah. And we went over, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. And he's like, let's do an album. And we did it. It was great. So
when you do the editing of your like own projects, you have to listen back to it. Is it like hard not to be like nitpicky on everything? Like I need to
Yes.
redo that. I need to redo that.
Here's the key. The key is to get high.
I feel like that would make me even
Yeah.
more
No,
critical.
No, the key is you mix, and then you wait a bit, and then you do your day, do the show, and then you get high, and then you listen to it, and then it sounds like you're like removed from, for me at least, I'm just like, okay,
We are two different guys.
Yeah, really.
I will like do an interview like this and then get high when I get home and then lay in bed, go to sleep, and I was being like, why did you ask that question?
Oh, well, okay, this is different. If you're talking about talking and my personality, I cannot deal with myself when I'm high.
But the music's a different thing.
The music's different. It's
Okay.
its own thing, for some reason. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like removing the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Doing it to yourself though is a little different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's why you get really high.
Too high to function.
All right, I'm just kidding, Mom. If you're watching.
So how do you find the time to like do Freedom Junction, do your solo projects, write new music while touring with Cosmic Country? Like you got to be pretty busy all the
Yeah,
time.
It is, but honestly, dude, it's so awesome because like on the road, there's dude, the road is hard, man. Like
Yeah.
it is wild, but a lot of times like we'll be at a Love's for an entire day, and so I'll just start walking, and like one time I accidentally walked like 22 and a half miles in a day, like on on one of our days off, just because I was like.
I don't have anything else to do. I'm just gonna walk.
Well, yeah, and I was just, thinking and like writing songs in my head and like working things out, and like you have all this kind of like space sometimes to just think, and then when I get home, like because I just like kind of worked my ass off on the road, I like have permission to just kind of just write and do whatever I want to do, like on a Tuesday at 12 noon, like 2, it's cool. I'm just like a day walker. I'm just like walking around, like
That is a nice thing. Is like the little sacrifice you make for the touring, which you love already. Then you get home and it's just like time to kick my feet up and
yeah.
Freedom
And I mean,
Junction.
my version of relaxing is playing music, which is honestly is not healthy, probably.
Is there things that you do outside of music? Like, do you have hobbies, or is it just all music?
It really is. I used to run a lot, but
22 miles.
Yeah, I know, right? I used to run every day religiously, but I kind of just fell out of that habit because you kind of get a little bit exhausted.
Yeah.
On the road. But yeah, I play a lot of music. I view the recording of it as like a separate hobby, like trying to produce and like the Sugar's Blues thing. Like although that's music, I feel like that's kind of also a different hobby,
It's like self-experimental kind of, just like doing different things by yourself.
Yeah, like I got a really shitty tape machine, on one of my last times home, and frustrated the hell out of me, and but I learned how a tape machine worked.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a hobby, I like painting my pick guards. Like if I get a new guitar, which I haven't in a while, but I'll like paint the pick guard, with crazy acrylics and make it look.
I think I saw that on your Instagram. Yeah. I was creeping doing my research.
Nice.
So do you get to go to a lot of shows when you're back home, or just in general?
Well, I don't even know if I'm a fan of live music anymore, if I'm being honest. I mean, no, I honestly, what was the last show I even saw? I don't know. I saw Tyler Childers live. It was amazing.
We saw him last summer.
It was absolutely incredible. I get to hear, my wife goes to a lot of shows while I'm on the road, and so I get to secondhand, like hear a lot about the shows. Like she just saw Billy at Bridgestone, and she was like, it was just all life-changing.
Did you go to night 2?
No.
That
She
was
went
like
to
the
night
best
one.
one all
Really?
tour. I feel like that was a
Really?
crazy
Damn.
set list. Yeah.
She ended up getting sick that day.
Hmm.
I think. But she also saw like King Gizzard, which I've always wanted to see.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite band right now.
Bonnaroo?
Maybe even of all time. Yeah, you know, the thing is, we're just moving. I think we're going to be gone by the time.
Really?
Oh, wait, but they're doing 3 nights.
Yeah,
I think.
3 nights. I don't know. You guys are Thursday, right?
I don't even know.
I think you guys are Thursday.
Yeah.
I think it's you, Dogs,
Yeah.
and
Oh, dude, if I could see them, that would be sick.
yeah, I really want to see them too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them. So other than Giz, is there like a more modern band that you kind of like? I guess Giz probably isn't someone that you like model your sound off of.
No, or it is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really, I guess, model the sound, but dude, the DIY and the creativity of it all really inspires me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, and they're doing it all on like a Tascam 88, like, you know, an old school tape machine, you know, or a Tascam 30. Is that what it was? I don't know, but you know,
Those Australian bands are killing it right now.
They are-
Mildlife, Parcells, those guys.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
And they're all doing it kind of themselves and just like getting an awesome sound. And I love that idea. I love the idea of crafting a sound.
Mhm.
You know, that's what it inspires me, you know. So I guess Giz does kind of, you know, and their genre bending ability
Yeah.
is like doing this type of thing, doing that type of thing. I really like that.
Yeah, their shows look like a rave for 30 seconds, and then just like a metal show for
Yeah,
30,
dude.
and then just like funky jams. It's crazy.
I know, it's really awesome.
Is there any other bands that you really like? You know, you wish you could see or wish you could maybe like play with?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, everyone. You know, and thankfully we get the opportunity to sit in with
Mhm.
people. You know, like Panic. We saw Panic. Daniel sat in with them, and
Nice.
at our Christmas show, JoJo sat in with us. So I got to have like a
Nice.
duo, you know, keyboard jam with JoJo.
That was probably sick.
I was like, holy shit, this is cool.
We just bought our tickets to go see them in Charleston yesterday.
yeah?
Yeah, so stoked
Great.
for that.
Oh yeah. I think we're gonna go see them when they come to Nashville too.
Nice.
That's awesome. I'm glad Jimmy's back and everything's rocking.
They're playing 3 nights in Asheville, and that's where we live, and I was like
Yeah.
super stoked for it. And then my like best friend is getting married like those 3 days. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn it.
Dude, so how was everything with Asheville? Did y'all make it out all right? Or
Yeah, so
everything
we moved up there like right when the hurricane happened. We were
Yeah.
moving from St. Pete to Asheville, and it was kind of like a clusterfuck moving up there around that
Yeah.
time. But Asheville itself seems to have recovered pretty well. I mean, we weren't there pre-storm, so we don't 100% know.
okay? Yeah.
But the like surrounding areas are kind of where it's still rough.
That sucks, dude. I didn't realize our last show at the salvage station was like gonna
Yeah.
be the actual last
Yeah, because
show
you
there.
guys were supposed to play there in November.
I know.
Yeah. And that was like one of the big reasons we moved there, because we were like, the salvage station, like just in November had like you, Dogs, Green Sky,
Yeah.
like J-Rad. Yeah.
Dude, you know what? Actually, I forgot about this. We kind of had like a mix-up and accidentally got a tour bus for like a run, which like, and it's just due to, you know what I'm saying. And but our driver there was also a mix-up in the routing, and we were supposed to do salvage station, and then we were supposed to go like somewhere else, and then the hurricane happened, and like we wake up. And I guess she didn't know not to go to salvage station. But like we wake up, there's no phone service. We're at salvage station, and it's like the hurricane had just happened. And somehow she got this bus like all the way in there, like in a hurricane afflicted area.
Jeez.
And like there's like a car in a tree.
Yeah.
Like, it was wild. And then we were like, hey, we're actually not playing here. Can we somehow get out of here?
Yeah, there was like no rules when, like, it was just like, it was like a post-apocalyptic, dude. Like, it was just like crazy and
It's
like,
so sad, man.
yeah. Even now, there's just like, like sides of hills and stuff and mountains, and there's just like trees everywhere. And it's like to the point where like, what are you gonna do about them? Like, you
I
can't just
know.
like clear every tree. Like, there's not enough
It's
manpower
so
for that.
hard. I used to go to Asheville all the time to get my spirituality on.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Oh, just in the, I don't even know. Like, I had some buddies that were, into just like, meditation
Mhm.
and soul stuff. And,
Yeah.
And I would play festivals out there with this like electronic jam band called Magic of Science that I used to be in,
Okay.
and you know, we would just do a bunch of like random little festivals, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's
Those
a cool
good
time.
good old days when you're starting to first play festivals, and being like, man, this world is crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is cool. You know, people are meditating.
So you talked about going to Asheville for like soul spirituality. Your
Yeah.
music has soul and spirituality to it,
Oh,
and I want to
thanks,
hear
man.
about like the songwriting process for you.
Mhm.
You just said you were walking on a 22-mile walk, writing songs in your head. So
Mhm.
like, is it hard for you to write songs? Is it easy? Like, what's it look like?
No, you know, it is. Well, I appreciate that you think my music has soul, and that's a compliment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
But no, I mean, I don't know. Songs are really just a part of. It's part of the whole the whole thing, the
Yeah.
whole meditation. You know, they'll just come out. You know,
Mhm.
and I'll just let them happen over a certain amount of time. I don't think I ever really force it. I'll have a riff, you know, or a melody, and I'll just kind of think about it, you know, and play it, and then maybe an idea will come. And honestly, most of the songs, like, I'll just be kind of thinking about them, and then I'll take a shower, and then by the end of that shower, I'll have every single lyric for some reason.
I interviewed Jed Harrelson yesterday, and I asked him about songwriting. He was like, honestly, man, I go in the shower and just
Dude.
like kind of let the water hit me, and then by the time I get out, I got it.
Dude,
yeah, he said the
really?
same thing. Yeah.
It's weird. It's just like you're so like relaxed.
Yeah.
and-
The shower is some of the best thoughts you have in the shower.
Dude, you know,
It's like
and-
the only like quiet place. You don't have your phone. Like
Yeah.
no one's really trying to talk to you.
Mhm.
Just warm water.
You know, just warm water. I mean, like, I definitely grab the phone and I get it all wet and I try to, like, type out things and it doesn't
Never
work.
works.
Yeah, but, yeah, it's great, dude. There's a shower. Something about it. It's weird.
So going back to touring a little bit, obviously we do not tour at your extent, but my girlfriend and I have been like traveling on the weekends, sleeping in
Yeah,
our
dude.
car. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you got to eat shitty. You don't sleep great.
Oh, yeah.
How do you like deal with like? For me, the biggest thing is food because like it's so
Yeah.
expensive to eat good.
Yeah.
And with a band of what 4 or 5 people,
Uh-huh.
how do you guys decide on like what we're eating today, or is it kind of just like
Oh,
suck
yeah.
it up?
A lot of times it was suck it up. I mean, you know, we just now got to this bandwagon stage
Mhm.
where, you know, we're all sleeping like in bunks and we're not necessarily kind of doing hotels or driving, you know, like we can sleep after the show and then you wake up and then you kind of have autonomy. Like you're like, oh wow, we're at the venue now and I can go find my own food.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
Like today.
scavenger. Like
Yeah.
today, yes. It's like today I was like, oh, I know this place. I'm gonna waddle over to the McDonald's and get my coffee.
Mm.
I haven't eaten anything today. That's my key is that I drink coffee until I'm like really like
That's
nauseous, and
Nauseous.
and then I'll eat.
Okay.
But yeah, no. But it used to be like in the van whenever we were all together in this pod and crazy person's driving, very high, very scary. And then,
Who was that?
Oh, no one. No, but like, you know, we would all have to eat the band favorite, which is Thai food, which is great. But
Okay.
you know, we would have like Thai, like spicy Thai for breakfast, and like have, you know, diarrhea for the show. You know, it's
Everyone
like-
just ripping ass on this
yeah,
bus.
no, it was like, but yeah, now we can kind of choose a little bit more. But dude, it is hard, and it's just wild. It's a constant, you know, whirlwind of stuff.
You mentioned doing acid and kind of just a crazy segue.
Whoa, dude.
You mentioned doing acid. Is that something you still dabble with as a psychedelics?
No, I mean, you know, you have your kind of formative experiences that really, for me, you know, I just like it just set my worldview, the way that
Mhm.
I wanted to approach music and life, and you know, acid, shrooms, all that, you know, and now, you know, if they're I haven't been on a full-on experience in years, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a whole ordeal, you know.
Especially acid. Like, you take it at like 10 o'clock in the morning. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like midnight. You're still like, even when it's like over, you're still like a little bit like,
Yeah, no, it's a little bit too much for me right now, but boy, I tell you, man, I like as a person growing up in music and like setting my heart right, dude, it was like everything to me. Which is not good, you know. It kind of makes you really spacey for a while, you know. My parents were like, "What's happening with you right now?" You know.
Were you doing it like a lot when you were younger?
No, but it's just like I was like, "Wow, I can do anything," you know. Like there's no rules, and so I would do weird things, you know. Like I lived in like primarily unfinished basements, like until like 2 years ago, you know, because I was like, oh, it's a giant space, I can do art, you know.
Yeah.
I built a wall out of trees, like literally.
Do you look back on some of that stuff now and you're like, what was I doing?
Dude, yeah. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm glad it all worked out.
What's it like when you get? So like, I'm not a musician, but like when you take psychedelics and you're kind of like in that like flow state of being high and you start playing music.
Dude, that's the thing, man. Like, you're like, oh my God, I'm connected to the river of musicians. Like these people are speaking through me. They are dead, but they are alive. You know, like, and then you start playing. You're like, I feel this in my tongue. You know, like, you know, it's totally formative, dude. Seeing colors, seeing the, you know, like, and then you kind of integrate that into the way that you play. Because you don't have to do it to access that, you know. So, but yeah, I have fond memories, man, of practicing on psychedelics.
Is that where a lot of? Do you write some of the cosmic country songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Are the ones that like vibrations and frequencies, like, are those more you, or is that more Daniel's?
That's Daniel.
That's Daniel. Okay.
I always try to have kind of like a one step removed from the psychedelic language. I don't really like pointing it out like that exactly. I like a little bit more of metaphor.
Okay.
Not to say that like vibrations and frequencies is a bad thing. But my style of writing is a little bit more like
subjective.
Yeah, or it's just, I don't know. I like just write about things that have been happening, and for me, it's always been kind of hard to write, like an ethereal song.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why.
You guys do really fun covers, or at least you have been on this tour, like the Mamas Don't Let Your
Babies Grow.
And then the Samson Delilah, and there was a show the other day where your encore was the Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up Cowboys, and then there's a Grateful Dead song, I think, in it.
Yeah.
What was that? I was trying to find that show on Nugs the other day, and like, I can't find it.
Dude, I don't even know.
How does the set list come out? Is Daniel just like, here's what we're doing today, or do you guys like work together on it?
He writes it,
okay.
and we do it, you know, and yeah. Sometimes we talk about it, you know, if we want to change some things up, and normally he'll come to us with like, all right, let's do this new song today, and which is great. Like we expand our repertoire, you know, and it's just wild, you know. I can't imagine 5 years down the line, you know, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
We were able to do like, I think we did a 3-night run of 2 sets, and we didn't repeat of two sets each night.
Yeah.
And we didn't repeat a song, you know.
That's awesome.
And I know that's just par for the course for you Fish fans. But we're, you know, which we are as well. But you know, we're trying, you know.
Is that some of your, like, as you got older? Like, I know you said it was really blues when you were a kid, but like in your early adult years, like early 20s and stuff like that, was like Fish kind of Grateful Dead. Like, who were those influences?
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, like I'm so locked on to like my initial influences that I still just listen to this Jimi Hendrix. It's called Blues. It's literally an album called Blues, and I just like listen to that.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
I know, but then I mean I listened to a lot of things. Like whenever I got into like a live one, you know, Fish, that their live album from the '90s, and I got into all those songs and all of that. But it's just funny, like I really always just come back to like the same like freaking like 4 albums for some reason.
Do you have any like albums that are in your constant rotation that people would be like, what? Like like just, I don't know, like Sum 41.
I know,
something
right?
crazy.
Olivia Rodrigo. Dude, I will say, I saw the Chapel Roan Tiny Desk and I was blown away. I was like, dude, this person has a crazy voice. This is
I haven't
awesome.
seen hers.
I'm a Chapel Roan fan. But dude, I'll tell you this. my guilty pleasure, which I'm not ashamed of at all, is AC/DC is my fucking favorite band of all time. I don't know why I didn't say AC/DC about, like, whenever I was going through the past.
I feel like you would crush that singing that too.
Dude, and it really, oh man.
Back in black.
Emily really wants me to do a AC/DC cover.
Yeah,
But,
maybe
dude,
you should. That would be cool.
That was my first live concert I ever saw.
Really?
Or actually,
How old
I
were
mean,
you?
like I was like 12.
Hell
And my parents were like, because I'd been obsessed with AC/DC since I was like 8. I was wearing all these shirts. I was like a 4th grader, and like I remember one of the teachers, his name was Mr. Bader, which is
Mr. Bader.
Yeah. Anyway, we were too young to make that joke at that time. But
Then like 7th grade came around, you were like, yo.
yeah. But no, I remember in 4th grade, Mr. Bader would come up to me. He'd be like, "For those about to rock," and I'd be like, "We salute you." You know, I was just so in it.
Was Jack Black your teacher?
Yeah, right. Dude, no, but I mean, I still when I listen to AC/DC now, it evokes a primal thing. Like we were in LA doing the Troubadour, and
No flex.
yeah, no, 2 nights. No, but I flew my wife Emily out, and she loves rock and roll history, and we went to the Rainbow Room, which is like a place where a lot of people go, and I sit down, we get a drink, and then they start playing 3 AC/DC songs in a row. And I'm like, dude, this is awesome. I was just Dirty Deeds, Highway to Hell, Back in Black. I was like, fuck yes.
What's your top 3 AC/DC songs?
Dude, there's this song called Ride On, and it's with the Bon Scott era, and it's on Dirty Deeds, and it's like kind of like a slow blues, which
Wouldn't have guessed.
That's one of my favorite AC/DC songs. I fucking love Let There Be Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. And their music video for that is great. They're all like dressed as angels, and Bon Scott's like the preacher. He's like, "Let there be rock." It's awesome.
That is cool.
And wait, did you say for 3?
3, yeah, so
3?
one more.
I don't know. Highway to Hell, dude. Fucking Highway to Hell, man.
I like Back in Black, just that beginning, like.
I do like it. I know, Back in Black is awesome. But I gotta be honest, I'm a Bon Scott guy, dude.
Okay.
I'm a Bon Scott guy. But
is he like I'm not super into AC/DC,
Are you
so.
fucking no. Dude, but he was the original one. He's the Highway to Hell voice.
Okay.
He's like, there's a long way to the top.
It's a long way to the top, but you wanna rock and roll.
Do we have to pay for that?
Oh yeah, dude. Sometimes they will like flag me for things
shit.
on YouTube, but we didn't sing it, so I think we should be okay.
Okay, good.
Pickathon.
Yeah, dude.
You're going
That was
solo
fun.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, it already happened?
No, it
Okay.
didn't happen.
Can you? I don't know what that is. Can you tell me about it and like the people that are gonna be there?
I don't know what that is. Also, honestly, if I'm being honest.
You're playing it, right?
No, yeah. I've never been. It's just great. They reached out and wanted me to play. A lot of people have come up to me talking to me about it, saying like this is going to be a really beautiful festival in Happy Valley, Oregon.
That's sick. They just read like, "Hey man, you want to come do
Dude,
this?"
it's really cool, and I'm super happy, and it's cool to just be able to to play and do that stuff. I'm bringing Freedom Junction.
Okay.
With me. There's going to be 2 sets. It'll be an electric set and an acoustic set. It's going to be really
Nice.
cool. I'm super excited.
And they put your name as Sugarlegg on the flyer.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
What is going on? It's awesome. It's great.
So Dark Star Jubilee, I'm going to be there this year.
Oh, great.
First time going there. We're stoked
Did
for
we
it.
play that last year?
I don't know. You're in the band, man. Not
I
me.
don't I don't know. I think we
It's
did.
in Ohio. Will you guys play like a Heavier Dead set for that, or is it still kind of like do your own thing, or do they want it to be like geared towards the Dead?
I don't know. I mean, I think I really think that we played a Dark Star Jubilee last year. I think we're I would love to do some more Dead, and we always kind of sprinkled them in, but ever since our our god and overlord Billy Strings made the sucking from the teat of the Grateful Dead comment, we were all kind of like, okay, maybe we shouldn't, like, maybe. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure. My next question was like, so you said our god and overlord Billy Strings, and I'm like, for sure. Do musicians, you guys feel the same way about him? You're like, he's the
Dude,
superior.
Yes. Yeah, he's amazing. And he can captivate an entire audience by just singing.
Yeah.
He just goes up there. I've seen him do solo a cappella. That's a big feat, dude.
Like, you know how like the Grateful Dead started a new wave of music, and then Fish started a new wave of music?
Oh, yeah.
He's doing that right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's insane.
Absolutely insane.
Going back to the Dead, though, I mean, you guys are pretty much better than Dead & Co., according to Hetty Ned's March Madness.
Dude, we won! We're not. But
I saw that, and I was like, yeah, it's a great topic to talk about in the interview tomorrow.
dude, that was so funny.
Whoever that Hetty Net guy is, that's such a good idea. Like,
Yeah.
It's a good way to
March
find new
Madness.
bands at the beginning, like,
Yeah.
and then it's just like a fun thing to do, but Billy's gonna win it, right?
Oh, is he on it?
Yeah, he's on
He
it.
didn't get goated out. Damn.
Nah.
Well, he's gonna beat our ass, man.
Who do you guys got next? Has it been released yet?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
Yeah, we'll see. What if we won though?
that would be sick.
That would be.
I mean, you guys are crushing it
People
right
would
now,
hate
dude.
us if we beat Billy though.
I don't think people will hate you guys. I think people really like I think people really like you, and I think people really like Daniel too. Like, you guys are like good stage presence, and I think your presence is a big part of the whole show too. Like, just seeing you go crazy on
Oh,
keys,
thanks,
people
man.
like that.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, dude. The band vibes have been happening.
So you said you're not that good at like the production editing thing, but I beg to differ. Those like clone videos you do are
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
fucking cool.
That's okay. I do like video editing hobby. That's another little hobby. I
What do you
love the
do? What do
clone
you
stuff.
use?
You're gonna make me tell my secrets, dude.
Well, I'm learning all this stuff, and I just
No,
use
no,
CapCut now.
Dude, I use Final Cut. It's great, and
Final-
it's just masks. So you put a stationary
Mhm.
video, and you say, okay, I can't, I'm gonna be here and here, and I can't cross the paths, and then you put the two videos on top of each other,
Oh, okay.
and then you like draw. It's called masking, but you basically just draw out. You cut out both videos, and then it just splices together. You know what I mean?
I wonder if I can do that on CapCut.
I wonder.
What is Final Cut?
Final Cut is it's the Logic.
It's not Adobe. Oh, it's Logic.
It's Apple's video editing. It's like the
Oh, okay.
Logic of video editing. You know?
Oh, so I wonder if I have it then on here.
You do have to buy it. You have to
Okay,
buy it.
gotcha.
And I definitely pirated it for like many years, but then I finally bought it.
I used to know how to do all that stuff when I was a kid, but now I don't know how to do any of it.
BitLord,
BitLord. I remember like Lime. Did you use LimeWire when you were a kid?
No, I heard about it. I was in the sweet spot. So whenever I moved to Nashville, our first mixing engineer taught me how to pirate things. So that's when I learned. A little bit later than most people.
Good
but-
life tips.
Yeah, I know, right?
So we talked about Asheville a little bit, and I think you have a story for us in Asheville about your Chevy van, your G20.
Oh yeah. Wait, how did you know about that?
I told you I look on the Instagram, man.
Oh yeah.
I
yeah,
can't
dude.
come to these things unprepared.
That's great. Yeah, dude, I had an old Chevy van, and I had to. I was going, to lay my burdens down. Like literally, I was tasked with this spiritual mission of carrying a bunch of rocks up a mountain to, apparently feel better. And
Who told you to do that?
dude, just those spiritual hippie people,
Yeah.
in Asheville. This is whenever I was trying to really figure myself out, and like.
You're willing to try whatever.
I was, and when you're early 20s and you're like, dude, how am I gonna make a living playing music? That's my dream. I
Yeah.
want to tour, and you're just like, is God? Are you out there? Or all these questions. And anyway, I had this 80s, Chevy G20, and it had a crack in the carburetor, which I didn't know what that was at the time. And I was going.
me.
And right, it was heating up, and I was going through those Asheville mountains, and it just chug, and it was getting less and less, air or to the freaking carb, and it just shat out on me like at the very bottom of a giant Asheville highway, mountain. And
it's
so
scary out there, some of those places.
oh, it's
man.
scary. And so
Yeah.
I waited for things to, cool down. It was because it was super hot out. And, I drove to I don't know, like I drove to this random auto junkyard and opened up the doghouse and, which is like that's like basically, that's where the engine lives.
Okay.
You're driving, the engine's right here.
Really?
And you have to like take off this cover. It's just like a heat shielded cover, and you take it off and like boom, there's the engine. And so I had to change all the spark plugs, and
You learned fast though.
I learned fast, and it was crazy. And when you change the spark plugs, you have to you have the distributor cap, which has all the little things that connect to the spark plugs. And if you don't put those back in the exact order, it will explode, or or not work. I don't know, but So I did it, and I prayed, and it worked,
Hell yeah.
and I carried my fucking rocks up that fucking mountain, and and
Did you get what you were looking for? Get your answers?
I don't know, man.
So
I got safely back though, so
that's what matters. That's what matters. So tell us about your the Sugar Shack. It's a recording studio.
it's just a little house.
Okay.
It's just a house.
Do you have other bands coming there recording stuff?
No, I actually, yeah. So our buddy Easton, who goes by the Admiral, he came out as a teenager with us on the road, like helping us, record for Nugs and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and just helping us out. He really caught the bug of playing music and funkiness and whatnot, and I recorded a couple of my own records, and he was like, dude, can you help me record a record? And I was like, sure, that'd be a great way for me to record someone that I know what they
Yeah.
sound like, but also just be like one step away from it, so I'm not like going crazy because it's like my own
Yeah.
voice, you know what I mean? And it was awesome. So I recorded him. He's the only person other than myself that I've actually like recorded at the Sugar Shack,
Gotcha.
which is just a house that I rent. And my landlord's studio is way cooler than mine. So
I'm gonna have to come to Nashville and lay a verse down at the Sugar Shack.
yeah, dude. Yes.
Oh man, well I think that's coming. You got any questions, Chloe?
I did, and now it's been too long and they're gone.
Oh,
Oh, you got to write these things down.
well, this has been really fun though.
Yeah, you got any plans for any more solo albums coming out?
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to. I mean, I don't even know about plans. Things just kind of come out, and then you kind of, morph them into, a presentation, like an album,
Yeah.
So I don't have anything like that I've been personally recording at the Sugar Shack. The main thing is just this Freedom Junction record
Yeah.
that we're kind of working on, and our bass player Chris, like he works at a video company, and randomly we got like a music video, like a free music video from these guys. And,
Fuck yeah.
And we were like literally right before we left for this tour, we were all in this crazy tripped out van. This is for the song called The Dream Machine. And we were all literally like the premise of the music video is us getting high and eating McDonald's. And so that's what I was doing right before I left for this 6-week tour, is getting high, eating McDonald's in a van. And we actually made a McGangbang, if you know what that is.
I know what that is. I'm very
And
familiar.
yeah. Well, I haven't seen this yet, so I can't wait, but there's a slow-mo shot of me making a McGangbang and just like stuffing it in my face and like just like downing a milkshake. Like I have it all over my face.
I need that for this promo for the
Dude,
interview.
I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait, man.
Do you guys have a release date for that album, the Freedom Junction album?
Well, I was hoping for like maybe May 1st, but it's gonna come out when it comes out.
Yeah.
But I think it's done. I don't know. I'll have to get high and listen to it again.
Well, man, I also just want to say thanks to you real quick. Like, before I even released an episode of the podcast, you were, like, super quick to want to come on. And
yeah, dude.
I'm glad we were able to find the time to work it. So I just want to say thanks to you, man, for showing some love early on.
Hey, dude, I really appreciate it. I love being able to just talk about this stuff, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you guys at Dark Star.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. It's gonna be awesome.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was. Huh?
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Sugarlegg. He is the man. Their band is crushing it. And excited to see what's next for those boys. See them in May at Dark Star Jubilee. Maybe we'll get to do another interview from someone in the band. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, good episode today. Great interview with Sugarlegg. No segment or anything yet for Monday. I think the sweet spot's kind of like an hour, and just adding anything to the end is kind of just extra. And if I don't really have a segment, I don't want to force it. So just kind of wait till something comes to me. In the meantime, the Monday episodes will be the longer of the 2 interviews for the week, and kind of just use that to fill the time. And if something comes to me, something will come to me. But yeah, guys, have a great rest of your week, or start to your week. I have some really exciting news that I think I'll be sharing on Thursday on the podcast. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned on Instagram. There's some exciting stuff coming there too. But hell yeah, guys. Have a great week, and remember, wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Come along, have a drink with me. We can talk about the world and how the world it turns so slow. Day and night I found cars they drive and planes they fly. I look into the sun and the sky, you're so bright. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know there's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down. Stars, they sail across the sky, and I could watch you dance all through the night. When the rhythm is right, oh, and I know the sun is rising now. Oh, if the world would just slow down. With me and I'll move with you, and I could spend the rest of my life by your side. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know it's not much longer now. Oh, if the world would just slow down. There's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down.